thought we might come at this from a different angle today. Now, here's the thing. If you're an empath like me, then there are moments in your life that you don't know what you want. You know, the more people like me ask you what it is you want to create, what do you want to build in your life, what do you want to do, those questions scare a lot of empaths. And it's not that you haven't done enough soul searching. It's not that you haven't discovered your talents through astrology. It's not that you haven't done enough tarot readings. This is why you don't know what you want. And then I'm going to tell you how you can, or share with you my own experience about working with this, okay? Empaths are one of the tough things about being an empath is that people pleasing becomes a big deal. And a lot of times in childhood, you may have discovered that if you do a certain thing, you get a certain result, right? If I make somebody smile or I make somebody laugh, that feels good. It's all external. And I believe psychologists call that an external locus of control, where people outside of you or situations outside of you are driving your actions or driving your desires or what you really want to create. But that's not really it. Okay. That's the truth of the matter when it comes to empaths. You know, we seek to support, we seek to give. A lot of us are very, over givers, over sharing, but the dark underbelly of that is it's because we seek a result. We seek to, attract a new person. We seek to do, it's never really just about us. It's never really just about us. It's always about somebody else. And while you're in that paradigm, okay, you're in that paradigm of, all right, what am I supposed to do in order to get, money to support myself? What am I to do to get love? What am I supposed to do to fulfill my path? What am I, that's the main question on my channel that I see in astrology classes and especially North Node or Chiron or anything like that. And all of these tools are super helpful. Don't get me wrong. However, I think there's one switch that you can turn that is going to make these tools way more powerful, because it's not really the tools themselves that are telling you what to do or what to create or how to generate interest, how to, build your life, how to express yourself. It's not really the tools that are saying that. The tools are giving you some helpful energy, some aha moments of, okay, I have this skill and I have that skill and this is how it connects. When you don't know what you want, it can be very hard to create it. And the key here is that empaths, people pleasing, that's a low vibration of being an empath. And we all dip into it. We all move into it because that has been a defense mechanism or a coping strategy in our lives that if we understood, and empaths are really good at this, we understand how to tap into other people's energies, which is why a lot of empaths are tarot readers. P.S. We understand how to tap into people's energies and give them what they want. And then we'll be safe, or we'll be loved, or we'll be elevated, we'll be given our due, our just desserts, we'll be seen, we'll be, supported. But it's a short-term strategy. And it's also a hollowing out strategy. It's a strategy that hollows you out. Okay? And it hollows you out because you're so busy seeking what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? So busy seeking that you can't really then ever, identify your own needs because your needs haven't mattered. When you're doing that, when you're seeking other people's approval or advice or something like that, you're almost like saying like you don't matter. And a lot of times that's why we attract narcissists and people like that, because they don't think our selves matter. We exist merely as a mirror to them. So the switch here to turn that around is to give yourself permission to take care of yourself, to put your own needs first. And that might seem like not a big deal. Okay. So affirmations or anything like that about you almost have to like give yourself permission to fill your own cup. It's okay. It's okay for me to put myself first. It's okay for me to take a breather if I need to. It's okay for me to not know the answer here. It's okay for me to stop for a second and connect with myself. It's okay for me to do self-care. It's okay. You're fine. It's okay for you to do those things. And once you do that, then you start filling yourself up, okay? So I'm going to give you some strategies here that are going to help you once you make that shift to like, yes, I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to fill myself up. Okay, then what? So here's what I want you to do. The first thing I want you to do is create a morning practice that is empowering to you. What do I need today? What do I need to create my day the way I want to create it? You're not here seeking out. Spirit is not trying to hide your mission from you. Spirit is here to support what you want to create. So if you're not creating anything, then there's this vacuum and Spirit's like, okay, I guess I'm not sure today. I'm not sure. But Spirit is here to help you create the path that you want to create. You matter here. I know, and listen, I'm a huge fan of astrology, huge fan of tarot, all of these things. But I am the creator. And you are the creator of your own mission and path. Yes, we seek out astrological indicators of certain kinds of paths. North Node. I've been a passionate proponent of North Node and Chiron because it is about healing, self-healing, and all of those things. But it is just a reminder of your soul's contract. Astrology and tarot can't take you to where you want to go without you co-creating with the universe. Those things they work alongside each other. So you saying, I want to create a nonprofit that helps women who have been disenfranchised by war, by political action, by something like that. You decide this is the thing that's important to me based on your values, based on what's important to you. And I realize a lot of time right now, what's going on right now can cause us to question our values. How did I get this value? Why do I think this is important? One of the values that my family had was productivity. Putting in time and effort toward a goal. Now, on the surface, that sounds awesome. But if you are unable to create a goal, if you don't know really what you want, then it's just a lot of hamster wheeling, right? To try to gain some traction and I don't know, that becomes toxic productivity. Okay? So at the end of the day, what's really important is that goal. What do you want to create? What's the impact you want to have in the world? Okay. So here's a few, I wrote down some things that I want to share with you about how to figure this out for yourself and how to really understand what it is, right? What's the thing I want to create now? Because you can create something and then it shifts. Soulful Revolution is shifting. And that's been a real challenge. because these are the things I love. These are I'm sharing with you the things I love, the things that are meaningful to me, the things that have helped me, because we're alike. So that's how I know to share with you right now how to understand, how to know what you want, even if you don't know. And even if you can't figure it out, here's a way to figure it out. So the first thing I want you to do is fill yourself up. I want you to create a morning practice that's a meditation. I want you to share with yourself your dreams, what you want to create. So this morning tradition that you have is about getting really honest with yourself. What it is, who you are. Tarot can help you. Astrology can help you. All of these things can help you. My morning practice has to do with putting together. I just wake up and I, take Charlie out and I do a little meditation for myself. I anchor myself. I connect myself. I say it's fine for me not to know exactly what I'm here to do today. Please share with me any insights you might have. I do my tarot spread and I ruminate on it. I sit with it. Some days I know and some days I don't know. Now, creating this morning structure for yourself. So this morning practice is best when it is consistent. So if you are not a real meditator, although I do advocate that, if you're not a real journaler, although I do advocate that, tarot, my morning routine basically goes like this. I wake up. I don't get up. I like to stay in bed for a while. I like to be in that energy of just between sleep and waking. I don't want to wake myself up too much. Charlie does need to go out, so I make sure that happens. But then I kind of settle in a little bit and I feed myself. I feed myself with tarot. I do a tarot spread. Spirit, what do you want me to know about today? And I ruminate on those cards. Sometimes I journal about them. Sometimes I just write them in my journal. Sometimes a card will catch my eye and I'll sort of follow that down. So that's a really important thing. I also that is sort of a working meditation for me, that I'm working with the cards, and I'm, the Hermit was the outcome in my tarot reading for myself this morning. So I kind of just took that card and looked at it and said, Hermit, what is my teacher trying to tell me? What is my teacher, myself, trying to say? Okay. And then I spent some time writing about that. And that was a very powerful morning exercise for me today, was to just pull a card out of the reading and work with it. And then probably that's a half hour of my time. And then I kind of shift into this, okay, let's, gather up and what are we doing today? What am I talking about today? And all of that based on my intuition that morning, based on what's showing up for me, based on your comments, on all of that. But at the end of the day, that morning, or in the beginning of the day, I guess, that morning ritual, that morning routine helps fill me up. I get excited. I get sustenance from information that comes through in the readings. I get a sense of excitement about what I'm going to do for the day. And that's how I know it's time to get up. It's time to get up. So get yourself a morning routine. Sometimes all you got is 20 minutes, but I'm saying make a commitment to yourself every morning to give yourself something that resonates for you. And it might be listening to a person that you follow on YouTube. It might be listening to my readings. It might be listening to Braca or Allie or something like that. Whatever the morning routine is, be consistent about it and do something that then brings it back to you, okay? Brings it back to you. How does that resonate for you? What does that mean when something resonates for you? Listen to your heart. Listen to your guides. That's when they're coming through. When you go, oh yeah, that's for me, and you write it down, or oh yeah, I got to remember that, that's for me. That's your intuition. Okay. So do this morning routine. I think that's something that's really important. It's been really important for me, and it's going to help you fill your empty cup. If you spend a lot of time giving your energy to other people, this is one of the things that helps you, that morning routine. Number 2, do something later in the day that's going to fill your cup. Okay. So in the middle of the afternoon, if you take a break and you go outside for a walk, do a nature bath, trees, love trees, do something, go to the beach with Charlie, do something that is life affirming, that is high vibration, that is very, you feel loved when you do something for yourself. So do something that makes you feel loved, and that's high vibration. When you're doing things that might be distractions or might be, ways of not looking at what, whatever you perceive to be the problems in your life, that's a little bit of escapism. This is also a little escapism, but we're talking about high vibe escapism. Okay. We're talking about doing something that fills you up. And that is not escapist, because you're going to need that energy for anything that's going on in your life. So that is absolutely what you need to be doing, is trying to fill yourself up. So take a break in the afternoon and make a little routine of that also. I want to give you, the third thing I want to say is I'm going to give you a mantra that is, I think, one of my most helpful tools for myself. And it is basically a self-healing, or a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, I'm going to say. I deserve, fill in the blank. I deserve. I give myself permission to, fill in the blank. All right. We're on the cusp here of a new moon coming up. Any new moon will do. This is an Aries new moon, and you know that this is a very powerful manifesting energy. So mantras that you can use in your morning routine, your afternoon routine, as you're driving to work, as put it on your mirror, all the little sticky note things, do it. I know it's like super self-helpy, but it works. Okay. So there's a reason why people talk about these things in more than one way. It's because they work. So create yourself a mantra, create your own personal mantra, and give yourself permission to fill yourself up. I give myself permission to take that afternoon break. I give myself permission to paint. That enlivens my creative spirit. It opens me up. I give myself permission to, go to the beach and see the seagulls and feel the air and smell the salt water and just be there in that nature space. Give yourself permission to do this. If you have a toxic productivity thing like I do, then it's like, no, I can't be doing those things. I must attend to my work and all that. But your work suffers. If you are not fully present and have a full cup, your work suffers. So it's an investment. If you want to look at it this way, it's an investment of your time. Okay. So fill yourself up first. I give myself permission to put my needs first. If that's your mantra, putting yourself first is a good empath strategy, because we don't ever do that. All right. So that's 3 things. Now, the 4th thing I want to say is this is a little bit of a conversation with you and your inner child. What catches your eye right now? What's sparkly? What's fun? What's interesting to you? Oh, I saw this documentary about this. And give yourself, now this could be your afternoon little ritual. If you're not really, if it's, yucky outside, you don't want to go out in nature, or you don't want to do the thing that you said you would do 2 minutes ago, this might be an option. So what catches your eye right now? And give yourself 20 minutes to go down a Google rabbit hole. Okay. What catches your eye? We're talking about spiral dynamics, talking about Dr. David Hawkins and the energetic experiments he did, talking about, I want to learn tarot. I want to be traveling this fall. I want to go to Stonehenge in December. I'm interested in, why is twin flame coming up for me all of a sudden? Feed yourself. And of course, I'm a Gemini moon and a Gemini North node, so information feeds me. That may not be it for you, but I promise you, if you start Googling your interests and you go down a rabbit hole, it will feed you. It will feed you. It will give you sustenance. And see what you're drawn to. You know, if you're drawn to certain people on YouTube, or if you're drawn to certain things and you really want to find out about them, what's this whole number thing? Why do I see repeating numbers? Look it up. Do the work. Go down those rabbit holes and see what shows up for you, because what you're doing is you're following. It reminds me like of a little morpho butterfly. I'm getting that image of this butterfly, and I know this is kind of way off of my beaten path or my track to tell you this, but I used to love watching that Dual Survival show. Dual Survival is a TV show. I can't remember where it was. It's usually two guys. I've never seen one with two women, but okay. It's usually two guys. One's like a Green Beret, one's a nature boy, and they get dropped somewhere. They got dropped into a jungle at this moment. I think it was Brazil. And they had to find their way out. So they could hear the water, they could hear the ocean, but it was kind of like, didn't know where to go because there's no sun, right? It's just the canopy is very heavy in this jungle. That's what a jungle is. The canopy is super heavy. So they couldn't like see the sun and follow the sun. They couldn't use those kind of tools. So the Green Beret was a little bit kind of stymied, but the nature boy saw a morpho butterfly flying and he ran after it. And the army buddy's like, wait, what's going on here? And he just headed after that butterfly. He followed that butterfly, because he knew as nature boy that morpho butterflies fly toward water, fly toward the ocean. And so he ran toward that. And it was a clue, right? It was a clue to something that he wanted to get to. He wanted to get there. He didn't know what it was going to, there was no guarantee what if that butterfly was just like, hey, Jack, I'm just going back to my nest. Okay. But he followed it and it brought them to the ocean. And I feel like that about things that catch your eye. They're like little morpho butterflies. And so if you can follow them for a little while, see what happens. Everything you do doesn't have to turn into a job. Everything you do doesn't have to turn into the end result, but it can be a stepping stone toward the end result. Okay. So a lot of times we get very focused on the end result of what we want to create, and we miss the little stepping stones along the way. Follow that little morpho butterfly. Follow it down. 20 minutes. That's all I'm asking. Okay. Try that. What catches your eye right now? So I already talked about a daily practice, a morning journaling or meditation practice. Now I'm going to say two things. This is kind of like two separate, but connected pieces of information and also opportunities that are going to help you. And I feel like these are things that empaths may or may not be all that good at. We are excellent at understanding or tapping into other people's feelings. We are excellent at assessing a crowd, assessing a group of people, and how we need to relate to them. But these are two ways of you connecting to you so that you can follow that down the path and know what you want to create. The first thing I want to say is to give yourself a commitment that you are going to speak your feelings honestly. So empaths are notoriously sort of take on the feelings of what's going on, right? Like that's part of our magic. That's part of what we do. But identifying your own feeling, it's not about anybody else. It's not about a situation. It's not about, your feelings can be independent of that. Okay. Your feelings are your compass, your guide. So even if you're like, yeah, well, I'm having this feeling of fear because of some external event, fair enough. But Even so, it's still your feeling and it's still your compass. So if you're in the midst of, let's say, a group of people who are interested in astrodynamics or who are interested in, Fight Club or interested, right? Like things that are kind of like not really what you want. What's your feeling about being there? Oh, I feel like I'm a fish out of water. Oh, I don't know what this is about. And you want to run away? Yeah. Speak your feelings honestly. Don't manipulate the situation to just be, you don't have to be a jerk. You can still be kind and be honest with your own feelings. You can say, I'm sorry. I think I might be in the wrong place. This seems like a really cool thing for you guys, but it might not be for me. So thanks very much. And away you go. You don't have to be a jerk, or you don't have to say, oh, sure, I love this. This is great, if you don't. Okay, so speak your feelings honestly and make a commitment to yourself that you're going to learn how to communicate honestly. And that will, what that will do? That will save you from wasting shitloads of time. Because you will no longer be, oh yeah, I really want to learn how to jump out of a plane, because all your friends are doing it or whatever. And you're just like, I don't really want to do this. I don't want to go to ayahuasca. I don't want to do. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if you can, before you speak, before you jump in, before you give your consent, if you can learn, what's the phrase I used to say? I used to say, oh, interesting. It's non-committal. I don't know how I feel about this yet. Sometimes you have to experience things in order to know how you feel about them. So I don't know how I feel about this. Oh, interesting. Because I'm always interested in new stuff. I'm always interested. Doesn't mean I want to do it for the rest of my life. But the other thing you can do, you can say, ooh, interesting, or you can ask questions. Instead of declaring your undying love for jumping out of a plane, you can say, why are you drawn to this? Why is this why do you find this interesting? Like, get curious and get some information before because a lot of times empaths, we have some pretty pushy partners and pretty pushy friends sometimes, and you don't always have to do it. You don't always have to do it. And in fact, when you don't do it because your feelings are like, this doesn't seem right for me, then you're honoring yourself, and that is going to fill you up. If you automatically jump in, oh, sure, how many times have you been on a date with somebody and they're like, I love, German kickboxing and, and then I like, eating eels. And you're like, oh, I've always wanted to try that. It's our nature as empaths to be in the flow of things. But I'm saying to you that that's a dishonest flow. And that is not going to bring you to where you want to be. So use some tools to stop the progress when you're not sure, and just be like, that's really interesting. I'm going to have to think about that. Thank you for sharing that with me. Why do you like that? So you're not closing your mind off. You're not like, ew, this is out of my comfort zone. I don't want to do that. No, you're just giving yourself a break from automatically being the cheerleader for everybody else, from automatically being the one who jumps in and says, oh, I love this. No, stop and share your feelings honestly. Sometimes you have to take a while to understand what the feelings are. So give yourself a break on that. And then the last thing I want to say to you is make a commitment to never lie to yourself. Sometimes it's a coping mechanism to be like, oh, this is going to be fine. No problem. Okay. I can do anything for a period of time as long as I know how long I have to do it for. Like, if you put yourself in that position, then what's going to happen is you're going to waste a ton of time. If you don't lie to yourself, if you say, this is not at all how I see myself, this doesn't resonate with me. A lot of you are pretty good at this part, at not lying to yourself. But if you're not good at that, if you kind of try to make up a story in your mind that says, okay, so my little story is I used to have a boyfriend that had a motorcycle. And I just don't care. It's just not fun for me. I just don't care. I'm not interested. It's not a thing. And he really loved his motorcycle. And so I always did the things that he wanted to because he loved them. But I was always honest about it that I didn't really care about it. I'm doing this because I know you love this and I'd like to support you in that. That's my reason. Not because I love the motorcycle or I love the, riding around and all that kind of stuff. It's just not, I don't know. I don't care about it. It's not my thing. No big deal. It's not an indictment on anybody. It's just not what I really wanted to do. So I was honest about it. And I was like, look, here's the thing. Every month, you get to choose something you want to do, regardless of how I might love it or not love it. And I get to choose something I want to do, regardless of how you might want to love it. You might love it or not love it or whatever. That's not the reason to do it. The reason to do it is I'm curious about it. And I would like to have your support in that. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go with me to go, what is it, diving off cliffs or to go, going to an ashram or going to a vegan retreat or something like that. You don't have to go, but just don't make it hard for me to do it. Okay. Just don't make it unpleasant for me to do what I want to do. Or you could just support me. Okay. So you'll see how someone is on the narcissistic scale. If they can't do that, that's a bad thing. Okay. You can support someone else. You don't have to do it too. You can just be like, have a good time. I'll take care of the doggies while you go riding your motorcycle. And you don't make it hard for them to do what they want to do. And conversely, your partner doesn't make it hard for you to do what you want to do either. Okay. So be honest in your communication externally and also be honest with yourself. Once you start getting really good at that, because you'll be able to adapt to it. Empaths are endlessly adapting. You'll be good at doing that because that's the goal. And if you have a goal of filling yourself up and you give yourself priority status and you say, my feelings are more important, really this just boils down to how do I communicate that without being a jerk? How do I communicate that without putting everyone's backs up or being defensive or being self-flagellating or a victim or a martyr or anything like that. Straight up honesty. I'm so glad you love the motorcycle. It seems like it's really fun for you and everything like that. I want to support you in that. So here's how I'm going to do that. I will take care of the dogs when you're gone. Dinner will be ready when you're back. Or some days I might want to go with you. But I'm not going to make it harder for you to do what you like. So I'll leave you with this parting story that, when I was, it was the same boyfriend and I loved baseball. So I went to all the motorcycle parties and I tried to I wasn't as honest with him as I should have been. And I was not honest with myself about it. I was like, oh, it's a motorcycle. I'm supposed to love it. Right? Yeah. I love baseball. I like going to Red Sox games. I like traveling to Florida for spring training. I like doing all that. That's my thing. And I said to him, I bought tickets and for everybody and you and your brother and his girlfriend and the four of us are going to go and it's going to be fun. It's Big Poppy bobblehead night. So it was a garden gnome. It wasn't a bobblehead. And so we go to the game and he's like, can we go now? Like every 15 minutes. That is not supportive. You don't even have to like it. There's plenty of things to do at Fenway. You can go and there's tons of cool bars and all kinds of stuff. You don't have to sit and watch the game to have a good time. Beautiful summer night. You don't have to sit and watch the game, but don't make it hard for me. Okay. So that's another way. That's like my little final story to leave you with that empath. The real path to enlightenment is about getting your own cup filled first. Once you do that, and once you understand that, then you can start understanding about what you want then things start to occur to you about what it is that you want to create. Then you've created a pathway here where you're filling yourself up and you're getting downloads and you're getting ideas and you're learning to communicate more honestly with people. That's the path. That's the path to getting what you want, even if you don't know what it is right now. Okay. So I hope that was helpful for you. This is a bit of a different morning message than what I normally do. But if you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, and share, and drop me a comment. I want to hear what your little ritual is that helps you fill your cup. What are you doing right now to fill your cup? All right. I'm looking forward to it.